Hey guys, how you doing? Just ran up the stairs, getting ready to catch my train. For the first time in 6 weeks, I'm doing a road trip. That's right. We're off to Przemyśl, Przemyśl. I never can pronounce it correctly, but we're going to do a trip to the eastern border. Going to show you the sights and have a good time. Well, we made it. I'm standing outside the train station where it is a bit rainy right now, but I wanted to show you what it looks like inside because it's absolutely gorgeous. Now, the last time I was here, I got yelled at because you were not supposed to film down the corridors, mainly because of the refugee situation. But you'll just note it's a little bit Art Nouveau in here. It's very pretty. I like the paintings. Now, right next to it is this restaurant that many people don't even realize, which was the old waiting station for, well, it was the old area where people would wait for their trains. And I sat in here last time I was here, and it was totally, like, exquisite. So we're going to go in there briefly. Who knows, maybe we'll get something to eat. Well, we have lucked out. Not only can I get some food here, it's just beautiful inside. I love this place. Take a look. I mean, look at the artwork. There's the bear. Circles all the way around. It's just very, I love it. And look at the ceiling, look at the chandelier with the, and then you can sit outside if you want to. Another painting there of the river. Sorry. It's like I forgot how to film today, you know what I mean? Just way too excited. So I got some borscht. I got a kettle of black tea. And I got some pork loin with some sauce. No idea. We'll see how it goes. But, yeah. So again, get off the train, jump right over here. I did this last time I was here. It's a good way to start your introduction to the city. So the borscht has arrived that I can just drink, which I will just drink. And then look at this pork loin. Yummy. See what the pork tastes like? Here we go. First bite, cutting in. It looks great. It looks delicious, actually. And it's interesting, I wasn't even going to get this. I was going to get some of the pierogi, and I was like, no, let's try something new. So here we go. Wow. It's amazing. That's really, really good. And then we'll do the borscht, too. I just drink it. Just how I like it. This is a great meal. So there's the beautiful train station, built in 1895. A lot of Austrian-Hungarian influence, if you know your history. And we're leaving our meal, and we're gonna head into the old town now. It is rainy, so this will be an interesting adventure, to say the least, with lots of hopping in between churches, just to get to the hotel. Wow, you know, I feel like I'm back to my glory days of doing my tours. Look what I found right here. Now, granted, these are not wedding dresses, but it is a wedding photo area. Wow, so for those people that were familiar with my old channel, this is sort of like a common thing. It just happens every time. So the last time that I was here was in December, and I loved this city. I vowed to come back in warmer weather, and hence, that is why we are here today. I don't have a lot of time left before I return to the States, and I was like, if there's one city I want to go to, it's going to be here. Which I use the German term Przemysl, only because for some reason I cannot pronounce the Polish version, Przemyśl. I just can't pronounce it. Which makes me sad. If the weather was better, I'd be following these signs right here, because there's a military cemetery in the other direction. This was the place to be during World War I. It literally is known as the Stalingrad of World War I, was here. We'll get into that on another tour, but it's a big deal. And anyway, because of that. Because it was between the Russians and the Austrian-Hungarians, and the Austrian-Hungarian Empire had numerous cultures represented between the Ukrainians, the Polish, the Jews, Prussians. Oh, hold on, maybe not. I was getting confused. Anyway, the point is, there was a lot going on, and they had it was a major battle. Like 145,000 people were like here, and anyway, look it up. The fortress. They got some YouTube videos on it. We'll visit it in the next video. Right now, we're just looking around this part of town, which does not show it off in its best light because of this rain. Ah, humbug. If you stay straight right there, you'll get a couple ice cream shops. There's like 3 or 4, if I remember right. It's a cute little bistro right here. But we're actually going to cut back because there's a little square. Last time I was here, there was like a foot of snow on the ground. And, well, not the whole trip, but just at the end. And it was really cool. It looked like something out of like a disaster movie. There's the famous tower of some sort. I don't remember what's special about it. I would have redone all my research for here, but I didn't want to be redundant from my last time that I visited. But also, since technically for a lot of you this is your first time with me, let's just say that my phone died, which tends to happen quite a bit when I travel. So, anyway, we're just going to be doing a walking tour. Less history today. Here's a statue, John Paul. But more importantly, look at this square. Look how beautiful this is. It's the tower again. I think you can get tours because it's a museum. And then again, note the colorful Austrian-Hungarian buildings is what I'm going to call them. It's so funny because last time there were no foliage on these trees, so it just has a different vibe. It's cool though. I still like it. I like it quite a bit. So what we're going to do now, as we walk, we're going to try to slide into a couple different churches. What's special about this city is it is like, I won't say the headquarters, but it's like, for this region, they have a Roman Catholic, I think it's a cathedral, and then there's a Eastern Rite, or like an Orthodox head as well. So, and if you were to just, ooh, that pizza place looks interesting. I know we just ate, but, I mean, look at these cute little cafes. I know someone who would go here, Miss Dominica. So anyway, I thought that dress was here still. My God. But because of the religious traditions here, it's really cool if you're into visiting different types of churches. There's several monasteries, a couple convents, and as I said, you have some Orthodox and you have some Roman Catholic. So it's really cool from that perspective. And because I was smart today and I'm wearing pants, we can actually go inside. So here's the first church we're going to slide into. I say slide because we're going to be all nonchalant about it, right? But you'll love it. In front are these beautiful statues. This is a Franciscan church. And for people that are not into like adventuring out in like bad weather, you're really missing out. I think it says Mary Immaculate. It's in honor of Mary. Look at the paintings, or sorry, not the paintings, but patterns. All right, let's go in. Look at this. Isn't this cool? It's beautiful. And you'll note here in the style, a lot of paintings, like hand painted on the ceilings, on the walls. Sorry about the lighting. The last time I was here, I couldn't get in all the way. They were doing all this work to it. Look at this. It's magnificent. And this time of day, we're the only ones here, which is so special. Wow. Now, as I said, there's so many churches here in town, like literally right behind us. There's another one. So we're just going to walk up the hill. There's actually multiple ones. So we'll see what else we can see. It's raining so hard, it's kind of like, what can we do while we wait to get into the hotel, right? Look at this. I walked right by this. Now, one thing I noticed, and I'll talk about it while we're still in here, is the next church we're going into, and I think it's the same thing with this one. Everything is like natural lighting. There's no, now maybe they have power, I don't know. But I know in this other church that we're going to, there's pure natural lighting. So as I said, we literally just do the turn and then look right behind us. There's the church right behind us. Now we'll be going back down that way when we're done. You'll also note, you can't see it right now, but there's a men's suit store right across the street from that church. Maybe it's a sign. But look at this. Just kind of hidden right here, and then behind it there's another church. Oh, look at cute. That's such a cute sign. Look at this fox. Can't go quick, I got a car coming. Ooh. So now this church here is the Orthodox one, the Greek Orthodox. It's a Greek cathedral. Now hopefully, unlike before, I said before, last time I could only get into the front, I could only get through the front doors. So I'm hoping today it's different. Here we go. Now I'm trying to remember the story of this church. I thought, and I could be wrong, so maybe the locals that watch this, you can correct me, but I think this church was given to the Greek Orthodox so they could have a place of worship here from the Catholic Church. Yeah, it's still locked. They don't want us to enjoy the, look at the altar. Look at that, it's all gold plated. And then you have Jesus right up above them. It's pretty cool, if you ask me. But since I'm kind of into church tours, this is like my kind of tour. It's so funny. Last time I was here, standing in this exact spot, I was telling the origin story of Przemysl, and of Przemyśl, and how they were trying to come up with a name for this town, for this village at the time. And at this point, I was trying to find it, like, again, online. So hopefully someone can put it in the comments and tell me how much I am off, because the last time I told the story was in December. But if I remember right, there were either two brothers, or there was a brother, a duke, we'll say a duke, and they were going on a hunting trip, and the duke killed a bear. And the location where he killed the bear was here. And then, if I remember right, the people started to move in. It makes it sound like it was already a settlement. So, so people settled here, and then they were trying to come up with a name, and this woman, she just kind of blurted out in conversation, Przemyśl, which, for my Polish viewers, I guess that name has a unique definition, and hopefully you'll remind me what it is. So This is me asking the viewers to fill in the rest of the story. But it's kind of like a funny thing where it's like, oh geez, I'm trying to remember. It was like, it's like, either it means, why not? Or, like, this is better than nothing. I don't know. Anyway, I killed that story. I butchered it. But behind me, short walk away, right behind it, is the other church. This is the cloistered, if I remember right. And this is the one where I know there's zero power. Because when I went in last time, it was like, it was just a different situation. But note how we keep going up. So this is a Carmelite cloister. And behind it, actually, if I remember right, is another, it's like I think it's a convent. But you'll note, we keep going up. The city, village, whatever you want to call it, they say it's like Rome because it has 7 major hills. Granted, I remember someone commenting before to me that a lot of towns have 7 hills, but the citizens here compare themselves to Rome. But as you keep going up, what's nice about this vantage point, and the reason why we're going this way, is not because I want to work out, but because you can get a quick look at Kazimierz' castle, which is a hot spot here in this area. So directly ahead is the castle, behind those trees. And if you note, here's a church we didn't go into yet. We came from that one, and down there, back down to the bottom. This is our lucky day. We're able to get in, and look, they set up for a wedding. No one's here, it's just us. Isn't it beautiful? Look, they have like Noah's Ark, or an ark. Note the different ornamentation, completely different. They have like a little chapel right here. Oh, there's a cool dome up there. So cool. I'll say this, what I like about Poland, one of the most important things to me, is I love how, for the most part, especially on Saturdays, the churches are open for you to get into. This is so cool. Black Madonna. And there's Jesus symbolized as the dove. And of course above him. This is so cool. Last time, not only could I not get in here, well, I did get in here, but it was completely pitch black. So I had no idea what it looked like inside. It's awesome. This is 3 for 3 with churches today. As you walk out of the church, you'll note this nice long wall right here to protect those that live indoors, right? To protect those that are members of the cloister. What I find really cool about it, though, I mean, for some it might mean like it's nothing, but as we're now climbing, as we go down the hill, they said if you turn back around and you go behind the building, there's a convent, and where, if I remember right, the nuns all have to take a vow of silence. Last time I tried to get on their grounds, there was a gate that was open, but I don't know the rules of it, so I ended up venturing around towards the castle that I showed you in the distance. And over there, there's another monastery, and I don't think they have, and there might be a convent as well. I know that last time I was here, there was a nun who was getting into her car, I guess, or into maybe like a group car, and she had a bunch of gifts. So I think it's hard to give gifts if you're, being quiet. I mean, I guess you could do it. Which reminds me, random story time, as we cut back down, my highlight yesterday, going to work in Krakow, was drum roll please, at the crosswalk, there was a guy, I was watching him on his cell phone. He was signing the whole time. And it made me smile. And it might sound like the most trivial thing, but I was just like, you know, thank God for technology. Yeah. Got all these tour groups out today, so I'm like trying to avoid them. Last time I was here, they weren't. It also was, there was like a road race instead going on. But look at the distance over here. This looks like a church we need to check out too. For people that don't like churches, you can just fast forward this part. But it's too cool to not take advantage of. I just want to hit this last one. And then I'll show you downtown. But, going back to my story. So no, I just thought it was the coolest thing. I was like, hey, you know what? I love that we have technology. That this man was able to communicate with maybe another person who has difficulty hearing or can't hear, and I don't know, it just made me happy. It was like one of those little moments. I guess you had to be there, but that was the highlight of the day yesterday. Well, that and watching a tractor, I think it was a tractor, a piece of farm equipment cruise down the road, because in the States, in the cities anyway, you're not going to get that. They're going to be on like a trailer bed because they tear up the road. I put it on as a short. You should check it out. It's very funny. Now, if we head to the left, which we are going to do, it will take us to this church right here. But also, it would take us up to the Tartar Mound, which is, the belief is, again, I'm doing this story as best off a memory that I can. In the Tartar Mound, the Khan, who, when they made their way across and they were fighting over here, and they had the battle and all that fun stuff, he was buried here in this place. And from that moment on, they would do all these, it became a place of worship for all the Slavic tribes. I don't know if we can get in. Is this the first church we can't get in today? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This is the statue of the guardian angel of Poland. And they put it here in 2019. Let's read it, because this looks like a cool little story. The statue commemorates the event of 3rd of May, 1863, when a mysterious young man appeared in this city and proclaimed a message concerning the fate of Poland. The messenger predicted the 2 world wars, Poland regaining independence, the importance of great Poles in history of other nations, and also the election of the Polish Pope. There was a Blessed Father, Bronisław Markiewicz, who wrote about this event. He believed that it was the guardian angel of Poland, appearing as a young man sent by God to encourage Polish people to cooperate with him for the good of their homeland. That's a cool story. Hey, we can get in the church. So that was the Basilica of the Archangel. Look at the beautiful colors. Tell me, how can you not love these colors? Look at this. I don't know what this is. A church thing, I think. Curia Metropolitan. It must be a community. Look at this. It's beautiful. All right, we're gonna go this way. Are you guys having fun yet? I hope so. I have to admit, I'm in a little bit of heaven right now with all these churches and the history, and just seeing that the archangel that they set up to the guardian of Poland. It's so cool, because when you think of the history of this country and what it's gone through to become a country, and even now how it's supporting Ukraine and trying to be a voice of reason in many ways. it's really important to follow, especially when you think of the hardships that they faced during World War II and World War I. One thing that I found very interesting too, and I remember this as I walk down these streets now, is I remember that after World War I, this city was fought over by Ukraine and Poland, the Ukrainian nationalists, and those for Polish independence, because Polish wasn't independent until 1918. They fought over this city, and what had happened, remember the story, right? There were only like the locals that were here, and they had a skirmish. Some people died, and it basically was a competition to see who could get reinforcements here faster. And the reinforcements, the Polish ones, got here first. So hence, it became a Polish city. But it was interesting because, actually, if you look at a map, I mean, Poland held on to, if you look at the territory after 1918, they held on to this all the way to Lviv. So if you ever get a chance to visit Lviv when the war is over, you'll see a lot of Polish influence and Austrian-Hungarian. All right, so now we're getting to the cool part. Well, maybe the cooler part for some of you. This is like the square of the Old Town area. And we're going to go meet the bear. I'm so excited. Last time I didn't get to meet the bear because they were getting set up for the contest, but here is this square right here. Now, funny story, right down here. Last time I was here, because I told you it was snowing, and it cracked me up. So they had like 40 soldiers lined up in formation so they could start shoveling. But on the same token, they had this plow that was going back and forth. And anyway, this woman, I think there was something wrong with her. She was walking her dog, and she kept walking into the path of the plow. It was like I don't know if she felt entitled, like that she should just only walk on like the plow part. But anyway, she was in the way, and she didn't pay attention, and the guy almost ran her over. It was actually quite funny, and it happened right here. Now, let's take a look at my friend right over here, Mr. Bear. As I said, the bear is, is the mascot, is the most important part of this town. Well, to me anyway. It's so beautiful here. Don't you guys think? Look at him. Look at the bear, and then there's a little cub. Aww. And they have lights, so clearly at night this thing lights up. Not the cutest bear in the world, but it'll do. It'll do. That'll do, pig. That'll do. Keep switching in and out of having the umbrella. It's like it sprinkles, and then it stops, and then it sprinkles again. And you know, my umbrella is confused. But, anyway, let me show you this vantage point over here. As we continue our brief, well, I don't think it's brief. I really don't. But our walk to my hotel for our first part of 2 parts here in this wonderful Polish city. By the way, I really should have come for 2 days. Could have hit so much more. So, look at the beautiful coloring of these buildings. It's glorious. With the church that we went into in the background, right there. And then they have your restaurants lining the area. I'm sorry, but for me, this is prettier than Krakow, than their old town. But that's just me. Shh, don't tell anyone. Now, we can add, though, and we should add, that this is just the old town. There is so much more to this city. You cross I think it's the San River, because that was the part where you had the Polish on one side, the Ukrainians on the other, something like that. And then fast forward when the Germans did their blitzkrieg, and it was a repeat of that. The Russians were on this side, the Germans were on the other side, and this is kind of where they did the divvying. You have a lot of buildings here that are Art Nouveau. I'll show you in a second. I want to show you this guy who constantly gets his nose rubbed, which it's funny because the only time I've seen anything like this was in Ukraine. I know they have it in Odessa and in Lviv. Here is the sad dog looking for food, And then here is the drunk soldier, if I'm remembering the story right, who, I forget what happened. I really wish my phone hadn't died. Hey buddy, how you doing? Oh, hold on, gotta rub your nose. It's for good luck, trust me. And it's for good luck because I have to deal with the post office. You know what I mean? My Polish viewers know exactly what I mean. Speaking of the post office, let me show you the only cool model of such things. Oh, I can't get enough of this. I mean, it really is. It was pretty in the winter, in December, but these restaurants, the bars, hey, Dominica, didn't mean to mention you again, but look, it's your restaurant. Huh. Wonder if it's any good. Look, another little sitting area right there. So what we're doing is we're going right over here to this these statues of these soldiers. So this is the backside of a Polish soldier, I believe, and this is the kind of backside of a Hungarian hussar. I was going to comment more on the funniness of this. No, not the horse. This guy right here. Look what he's doing. I don't know why you're mailing it, man. You'd have better luck just hopping on the horse and delivering it yourself. Yes, I'm basing that off of my own personal experience. I should probably do another vlog again about my love of different aspects of Poland and things that just don't make sense. Post office is one of them. But I will say this, I think the post office makes more sense than some of the rental policies. But hey, story for another day, right? So for people that are into the Art Nouveau style, look at this building right here. It's kind of peeking out on the side. Reminds me of Prague and Riga and some other places, of course. But you'll note you'll get these buildings just kind of littered in between here because of the Austrian-Hungarian influence. It's right next to the Ukrainian embassy, well, the consulate. I'll say the first time I saw this, I was delighted that they had a consulate so close because of the situation in Ukraine. Now, if you go across the river right now, we're not going to, there's a lot more to see. And I think there's even a mall, which I probably should be going to because I kind of need a charger cord. But to each their own, right? There she is, folks. Look at the river. I've run along this river. It's quite nice, and I understand. Well, now we're cut off because of the bushes. But it's my understanding that you can camp on different sections of the river, which, if you're into that and canoeing, there's a decent current to do that. See this little? I don't think this is a hotel, but again, they have the little emblem of the bear. I love that. Pub fort. There's a jazz and wine establishment right over to the side. So now directly on the other side, over there, there's some pretty cool statues. No, I don't remember what they were. I just remember when I would run by them, I was like, ooh, nice. Where we're going right now is we're almost to the hotel. But there's one more monument I want to show you guys before I check in. Here's a better vantage point. And again, what I was alluding to, which happened during when Germany invaded Poland and they made it as far as here. This was the line. This is where the Germans and the Soviet Union met up, if you will. And it was crappy situation, for lack of better terms, because the Jewish population that lived here in town, if they crossed, they were being handed over to the Germans on the other side of the river, and vice versa. If there were Polish residents that the Soviet Union wanted, the Germans were handing them over. They were going back and forth. The Jews would end up going sent to work camps and then the concentration camps, and the Polish citizens usually were being put on trains and shipped to Siberia, or they were being killed. Part of history that I really don't like, but one that needs to continually be shared because it needs to be remembered. Now, it's funny, I was about to be all somber, and then of course I'm walking through a beer garden to be all somber. We're cutting over here because this is a statue. Sorry, it's not a statue, it's a monument that it moved me last time I was here, and I just want to share it with you. If you're a walker, beautiful walking area along the river. Even if you're not a walker. Now, got a couple cool things here at the base of my Hotel Academia, where I'm staying for my second time here. I think it used to be the Gramatica. Could be wrong. Anyway, hotel's there in the background. You'll note there's a bunker right over here. But here is the monument that they have, and I think it's fitting that we end our first part here. When you travel throughout this part of Poland, north of here towards Lublin, and then actually if you go towards Krakow, there's a lot of mentions of this, of Katan. And these are different sites where the Polish intelligentsia and the military members were murdered. And for those that weren't murdered, because that's the Katan side, right here, they were shipped off, as they said here, to Siberia. The Soviet Union did a bunch of deportations from 1939 to 1956. And what they show you, if you look at the places right here, they show you all of the places in Siberia where they were taking them to so they could still use them as a workforce. Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan, Tomsk, Novosibirsk, Omsk, Irkutsk. All these places, so they could still utilize the workers, but not have them, we'll say, stir the pot here at home. Just a horrible part of history, but it's also why the Guardian of Poland statue that we just saw is so important, because it's supposed to show the unity of how this country managed to pull through all of these things. So maybe I'm getting a little too serious, but the point is, it's all worth knowing, it's all worth sharing. So, bunkers in our background. I'm going to go see if I can check into the hotel. Thank you so much for coming along with me during this walk of part one in this beautiful city. As I said, it's my favorite city in Poland. Maybe it's tied with Białystok and Sopot. I don't know. It's my favorite city in the southern part of Poland. There we go. So, thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I'll see you soon. Peace.